Nadvitiyo yatastaste turiyang brahma yatsvayam bhutanyatmani sanghritya chaiko rudro vasamyaham. Since there is no second to the transcendent Brahman that withdraws all beings into itself, that Brahman alone exists as Rudra. Sarvang lokan yadisheham ishini bhishcha shaktibihi Īśānamasya jagata svadrishang chakshurishwaram. Since I rule all the worlds along with my wondrous powers of Māyā, I am the Īśāna of this world, the Lord and the witnessing eye. Īśana chasmi jagatang sarvesham api sarvada Īśāna sarva vidyanang yadīśānas tatosmyaham. The scripture extols me, the Īśāna, as Indra, Brahmā, the Lord of all at all times, and the Lord of all disciplines of knowledge. Hence I am called Īśāna both by the Ṛg and the Yajur-vedas. Sarva bhavan niriksheham atmajnanam nirikshaye yogang cha gamaye tasman Bhagavān mahato mataha. I behold all beings. I teach the knowledge of the self and the path to that knowledge. I pervade everything. Therefore, I am called Bhagavān. Ajasrang yatcha grihnami visrajami srijami cha sarvang lokan vasayami tenahang vaimaheshwaraha. I perpetually create, protect, and dissolve all the worlds and enliven them all. Hence, I am the great Lord. Mahatyat magyana yogaishvarye yastu mahiyate sarvan bhavan parityajya mahadevascha sosmyaham. He, the great Lord, is glorified by his stupendous powers and the yoga of self-knowledge. He creates and protects all that exists. I am that Lord. Namaste. So, Shiva is that Brahman that is one without a second. And it is he who withdraws all the beings into himself, either at the time of death or at the time of universal dissolution. And it's interesting, the word turiya is used in this verse 38, because one of the meanings of turiya is to go. So he makes the living beings go into him at the end. They come out from him in the beginning, and then they go back to him at the time of dissolution. And this could be individual or universal dissolution. Same thing is happening. One at a time or all at once. So Shiva is that Brahman, and Rudra, his part in the material creation, who destroys it at the end, is the one who, is called the tamasic avatar, tamoguna avatar. But actually, he is transcendental. Shiva says elsewhere that Rudra is absolutely equal to him. That means that Rudra is Brahman and acts as such. But because everybody is attached to duality and the existence as an individual and so on, they're afraid of him. They're afraid of what he's going to do. Because they know, deep down everybody knows, that this individual existence is Māyā. It's illusion, and it's temporary. So at some point, the whole thing is going to be over. And we're going to go back and merge with Shiva, with Brahman, through Rudra. So even though we are afraid of him, we worship him because we want something from him too. See, this is the embarrassing and degrading, actually, condition of human life. That we are not independent. We can't get what we want by individual effort. So we have to approach God and perform sacrifices and so on to get even the basic necessities of life, without which we become degraded and even have to go into the animal species in the next life and so on. Terrible, terrible. Therefore, he should be worshipped, not out of fear, but out of love. Because after all the things that we like are coming from him. The beauty of nature, the very existence itself, as we went over in the last video. So then he is the Īśāna, he is the Lord, the controller. What he says goes. Because he rules the worlds with his Māyā. In fact, the worlds are nothing but his Māyā. So we should make friends with them. We should worship them. We should adore them because of their great power, yes, but also because of their great beauty and compassion, their mercy, and their great knowledge, which they are totally willing to share. But because we want to keep some distinction, with some separation between them and us, we actually miss out on most of all that. That's why the ultimate in yoga is to merge with Shiva, to merge with Brahman, to let go of this individual existence, because that's the cause of suffering. Do you understand? If you do, then you should perform worship of Shiva, especially of the Shiva Lingam, and recitation of the 5-syllable mantra, Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. And this will get you out. That's what it's for. That's how he gives it. It stops all our nonsense. It erases our ignorance. And it gives us the knowledge by which we can come to him. He says, I teach the knowledge of the self and the path to that knowledge. So the knowledge of the self is not academic. It's not even couched in language at all. It's direct experience. Has to be. Because no symbol can replace the self. Even the Sanskrit Vedas are just fingers pointing to the moon. They are not the goal themselves, but the object that they indicate. As Shiva says in Shiva Purana, Aum is the indicator and I am the indicated. So he is the object, he is the goal of all the Vedic literatures, because all the Vedic mantras begin and end with Aumkar. And even though sometimes it's spelled for convenience O-M, that doesn't mean it's Om. Because every time that Om is discussed in the Vedic literature, it's portrayed as 3 letters, A, U, M. Om, Om. That's the proper way to chant it. So if you chant it like this, it will give everything. And especially with the suffix Namah Shivaya, the 5 syllables. So he pervades everything. He is everywhere. He is everyone. But we still want to maintain this difference, this individuality. This is our problem, see? This is our ignorance. And this Shiva Gita is meant to help us overcome that ignorance. And in later chapters, he will give specific instructions. I mean, he already gave instructions to Ram through sage Agastya, and they worked. By performing those instructions, Shiva came to Rama and revealed himself in all his glory. So that can happen to you too, if you approach Shiva with love. That's the only criterion. He is not attached to rules and regulations and, all kinds of ceremonies and rituals and stuff that you have to learn. I mean, if you want to do that, that's nice. It will certainly help you along the way. But that's not what he's actually interested in. What he wants is you. He wants you to surrender yourself to him and approach him with love and affection. Because after all, he is the greatest friend. Everything depends on him. And if he withdraws his support, it all collapses. So this is the Shiva that we know and love, and that we realize through sadhana. This is so important that you have to do it. The yoga of self-knowledge means understanding Shiva as the self, as our self, myself, that we are simply riding on a manifestation created by Shiva. The body and mind are his creation, but we don't even really understand them properly, Every so often, the body gets hungry. Do we know why? No. Can we predict it exactly? No. And then, okay, we get hungry, so we go and eat something. We eat a big meal, and then we have problems digesting it. Do we know how the digestion takes place? No. Not even the scientists really understand it. And then, of course, the body can be healthy or the body can be diseased. If one is always merged in the beautiful emotions of love of God, the diseases are minimized. Even if the body does get sick, one can easily surmount it and go beyond it. See, this is the advantage of God consciousness. This is the tremendous benefit of losing one's individual self and merging with the real self, who is Shiva. So he creates, maintains, protects, and finally destroys everything that is. Therefore, he is the Supreme Lord. Om Tat Sat. Om Shakti Om. Om Namah Shivaya.